Welcome to another episode of Castoshi, and today we talk to Kim of BoXX United, a Gibraltar-based sports marketing company. BoXX United are using crypto to enable fans to support their favorite athletes directly and to allow those athletes to release their own NFTs and other products to help support themselves financially. Enjoy the episode. Hi, welcome to Castoshi, and today we have Tim Kemland of BoXX United. So, welcome, Tim. Could you tell us 2 minutes something about what BoXX United does?
Yes, thanks, Sabar, for having me. BoXX United is a really interesting project we're working on at the moment. It's a sports marketing project. And what we are trying to do is get the most out of fan engagement for athletes and clubs. So connecting fans better with their favorite athlete or sports club. So what we are doing is a fan can register on our platform. And when he wants to connect to an athlete or a sports club, they click on a referral link from that athlete or sports club, and they get connected to our system. And they can buy tokens from us, meaning when they do that, they directly support them in euros. But also we create a complete business model behind the project. So the fan can use different business models like a web shop. He can buy NFTs from his favorite athlete, which we help the athlete build. He can use a debit card. He can go on a travel. But every time he does that, there is a commission paid to the athletes. So it's a continuous basis for the athlete to attract new types of money to use for his sporting career.
So, as a football fan, what is the benefit for me? Is it that I can actually end up having one stop place for digital like tokens, or I mean, what's the actual benefit for me?
Yeah. So what we are trying to do is to connect the entire sports world in one ecosystem. And what I saw in my experience in crypto is that A, the market is really, really difficult for a lot of people. And B, there are a lot of platforms offering different services. So if you want to buy something in the crypto space or an NFT, there are multiple platforms offering the same thing, which makes it complicated for the everyday user to understand. So what we are trying to do is to build one ecosystem for the sports industry where everything is in the same place and try to level down the difficulty in crypto so it's a very ease of use system.
Okay, so doesn't this exist yet? Like,
At,
doesn't Manchester United have their own app and players interact with it and do everything, or not?
at this stage, it's not. Why a lot of clubs are trying to get into crypto. But what we see is that they are trying to build a project on themselves. And some clubs do succeed in a small basis, but the issue is if you have a token connected to your club, it's very limited in its huge use case. And what we are trying to do is to connect the entire sports industry. So the same fan from Manchester can also use its token at another sports club, at another event, buy products with it worldwide. It's not only related to one club or one area, it's worldwide.
Okay, I get it. So so Manchester United could say we'll build it ourselves and have Manchester United token, but then those tokens will be useless if they have a bad season and and the fan wants to use it, say to watch a different sport they like or do something else. I get it. Okay. Um, so could you tell us a little bit about? So I understand what you do now, and could you tell us a little bit about your background and what led you to start this specific business? I mean, why are you the right person and why you're the right person to do this?
Yeah, so a little bit of my background. I am an entrepreneur all my life. I've run multiple businesses, and I ended up in crypto around 8 to 10 years ago. And I found it very interesting. The methodology, the spirit behind crypto is very special. It's a new type of world that opened up to me. And what I saw is that a lot of things in crypto are too difficult for a lot of people. So I tried to make it more ease of use, try to explain to a lot of people what it is. But the best way to do it is to have something operational that they can see, feel, and touch so they can experience it themselves. Now, with BoXX, what we are seeing is that crypto, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum are the biggest projects in the market. Those projects are now running for, let's say, 10 years or around 10 years. They have proven their stability, their strength. But in crypto itself, there are a lot of projects that are coming along, like, let's say, like in the Wild West. A lot of things happened in the crypto in the past, bad things, to be honest. There are also good projects, and we are trying to be ahead of the game. So we are trying to be fully regulated, fully transparent, offer a service to customers which is completely transparent, which is completely correct, and connecting the sports world through that. And the second thing is what our motivation was. We saw a lot of athletes underneath, let's call it the top level, that are struggling to pay for their careers. And it's actually very, it was a really experience for me to see. For example, last year we promoted a very big athletics event in Manchester. And I've spoken to a lot of athletes there, like top world-class athletes. And they all had one thing in common: no money. Or they
is that similar to like artists? So a lot of people do art as their creative passion, but they're broke. Are athletes in the same situation?
Yeah, correct. And that gave us a true motivation. We need to build something where we can attract financing for them, because a lot of these athletes, for example, have like millions of followers, but they are not capable to get something out of that, because they are 100% focused on their athletic career, which is normal because it's their life, but they are not doing anything with it. So we are trying to build a system which they can use. We prepare everything for them, and they can benefit the maximum out of their fan base. And the fan base gets something in return. So it's a win.
Oh, I see. So basically, if you're an athlete and you go to the track every day and you train for 8 hours, you're saying that you're thinking about sports performance and eating correctly and drinking correctly and sleeping right and and improving your performance. You're not thinking about how to market yourself.
Correct.
So does that mean that BoXX United will be? I mean, will it be a little bit like Nike in the early days, where they sponsored like fantastic runners, and and they saw the Nike shoe? Is BoXX United going to be where they'll have like BoXX United T-shirts, and they will be a sponsor of BoXX United? Just from my understanding.
What we are trying to do, you can compare to that, but it's not exactly the same. What we are trying to do is the athlete can register on our platform, and he can share his link, his registration link, with all his fans, and his fans can help him with the sporting career directly, but also by doing that, doing a lot of other things in our system, like buying products, etc., etc. But every time there's a transaction in the system, then also the athlete keeps benefiting. So it's a continuous process where we really connect the fan with the athlete. And also important to us, the difference in our system is we want to make the connection better. Meaning, for example, if the athlete comes to us and says, "Hey, BoXX, please prepare some NFTs for me," we help him with that. But when he sells them, it's not just selling a picture or selling a movie from a special movie clip from a special moment, or a goal he scored, or a jump he made. But we want to also implement the engagement in it. So meaning, when he sells this, he needs to, for example, offer the buyer a yearly meetup, or a nice dinner, or a nice photo session, or a special interview. It needs to, the connection between the fan and the athlete needs to get better and tighter. And the better the connection is, the more the athlete and the fan can get out of it. Both.
Okay. I'm understanding this better now. And are there many other players in the space trying to do this same thing?
There are a very few amount of players doing parts of it, but no one is doing what we are doing. We are building an entire ecosystem around the sports world, and that's unique.
Okay. And what has the progress been like? Like when did you actually start building BoXX United as a company?
The idea started 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. But the idea at that stage was different than today. So we didn't start it because it wasn't the 100% convincement, how you say it in English, wasn't there. Last year, we reviewed it again, and we said, yes, this model will work. And this is something which can work in both ways, from top to bottom and from bottom to top. So this is the perfect model. Let's build it. So we started registering in Gibraltar. We have a VESP license there, fully licensed. We are now working on our banking license in the EU. So we are trying to get in everything in one ecosystem. And we are now building very hard on the full system. So in the meantime, we build our own KYC ML module to onboard investors. We are now in a pre-launch phase, so in an ICO phase. And our plan is to try to open up the complete system, the public sale, beginning of next year, maybe end of this year if everything goes well. So we are in the loop. We are building at the moment our NFT platform. We are working on the debit cards. We are working on a very big web shop where we will offer all kinds of products of every brand. So it's a huge deal at the moment. A lot of work, but we're getting there.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of technical work to build out a lot of this stuff. So do you have your own, do you have a team of developers or?
Yeah, at this moment we have 2 teams working on the project day and night. Yeah.
Two teams? What you mean, technical teams or?
At this stage, we have 2 technical teams working on the project, and we have a lot of other people helping us, of course, both in Gibraltar, legal, compliance, directors. We have marketing teams working on the project. So the team at the moment, I think, consists around 50 to 100 people. So it's not small anymore. It's growing day by day.
Okay. And are those people based in Gibraltar and Netherlands?
Gibraltar, Netherlands. We are working with people around Macedonia who work in the IT. We have people in India. We have people in Hong Kong. It's actually all around the world at the moment. Okay, great.
And when do you estimate that you're going to launch this publicly and start putting your first clubs on?
We are already onboarding, pre-registering a lot of athletes. At the moment, we are around 400 to 500 athletes that already pre-registered in a lot of different areas in sports. We have some clubs coming on board now. We are working with some very high-end athletes that also participate in world Olympic Games, etc., etc. So it's growing a lot. We can't expose everything at this stage because there are signs, but we want to fully launch it beginning of next year and come really public with it.
Okay. And I understand that you have I can see it in the background, I can see BoXX and I can see KiXX. So KiXX is your token, is that correct?
Yeah, KiXX is our token for the ecosystem. It's 20 token. At this stage, we've chosen for the Ethereum blockchain because, in my opinion, at this stage, it's a very safe and secure blockchain. It has proven its solidity. And that's all settled. That's all standing by to get launched. Correct.
Okay. I mean, one thing to look at with Ethereum blockchain is when gas fees go up, if the user does something, it can be expensive. So I know a lot of people consider things like Polygon and others as well. So
yeah,
or Solana. Okay. Okay. So where do you see the future of the sports industry going? Like what do you think is? I understand what you're saying, that a lot of athletes are broke, but at the top level, there's also a lot of big money to be made. So is this like the biggest problem that's in sports over the last many years? Because a lot of people do sports just to be fit. Yeah. So, there's a lot of people who are almost as fit as athletes, but they don't have any intention to make money. So how do you see that you can change the whole industry?
For example, our first priority was to help the athletes which need it. Second thing is also we will support a lot of charities. So we have a smart contract in place with all the profits we make. There's a split, very transparent, to the athletes to support the token, but also for charities because we want to really give back to the community. And at that stage, in our feeling, we need to have a system or an ecosystem that feels right. And what I mean by that is we have a lot of policies in place. When someone onboards and has the bad intentions, we won't onboard. Simple. What we want is when we help athletes or when we get trust from fans, we want that money well spent. So what I mean is, if an athlete is very successful with followers and he earns some income, then of course it's the idea that he uses that income for the right purposes, and not to buy an expensive car or a watch, or the methodology behind the system. The ethical reasons need to be there. It need to.
Okay. And what do you say for people who might be like watching this podcast and saying, how do we know that this isn't another pump and dump? Because I've always asked this about every crypto project.
The thing is, in our end, we want to do it as transparent possible. That's also the reason why we are fully legal and compliant. We have some smart contracts in place, which will be fully transparent to people to see how the system will operate. And that's something we really like to push. Where we can, we will do whatever which is in our power to make it as transparent as possible towards the athletes, because the sporting industry is huge. And also in our position, we fully understand that making a mistake in the sporting industry when you're big can create a huge cascade on your name, your reputation, etc. So that's very important for us to do it the right way.
And do you have experience in sports marketing, or does some of your team have that?
Some of our team have that, and we are now partnering up with some very, very big companies that are active in this environment for very big brands. They exactly know how it's working, and they are loving the project, and they are onboarding with us to help us push forward the project.
Okay. So I think I understand your company well enough now, what you're doing. Now, to look to the future of the whole industry, like I don't know if you've heard of things like StepN, or where people put on trainers and they earn money, sometimes $500 a day for walking in the heyday. I mean, what do you think about the future of crypto and the whole sports industry? Like, how do you think crypto is going to affect Nike? Do you think Nike's going to do what StepN is doing, and just like putting NFTs and everything? Like, where do you see it all going as a big picture?
To be honest, I think first of all it depends on the company policies, how they feel about crypto. Because what I felt in this industry is that you have people really for crypto that are enthusiastic about it. You have companies that are still in the Middle Ages and they don't want to do anything with crypto. But what I personally see is that crypto is evolving very fast. NFT, the market is not there yet. It needs to grow. It is getting there. And a lot of things are happening in crypto, which is on the front line, happening very fast. But what we see is that it takes a lot of time when it, let's say, it grows into the masses. And that's happening right now. And I really think a lot of big brands are starting to get involved, metaverse, NFTs, etc. The market will be huge, Web3, all these things coming up. But it will still take time to get it to the masses. That's what I personally feel. I think it will take 5 to 10 years to create environment.
Yeah, I guess that's because of the usability. It's still like the Stone Ages crypto.
Yeah.
I mean, regarding to BoXX. So, for example, will BoXX be your own app and and card, or will it also support things like Metamask?
It will do both. My personal vision is that the ecosystem needs to be ready and user friendly for, let's an 80-year-old fan, but also for a 80-year-old fan that's already in metaverse. And that's the idea behind it.
Okay, so someone will be able to just log in with their MetaMask wallet on the web and use BoXX as well, without having to sign up, or will they still need to sign up in your system?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a centralized and a decentralized aspect to it. Is that correct?
Yeah, because to be very honest, I know a lot of things happening in DeFi. But at this stage, in our project, let's say it like that, why are we building it as a centralized version? At this stage, to be fully legal and compliant and open accounts everywhere and do business, you don't have a lot of choice. For a lot of banks, it's a no-go. The moment you go to DeFi or that area, DAO, etc., it's very difficult to get in touch with and to create a lot of business volume. You're working with a lot of athletes. We also know that a lot of athletes still are not in crypto. So coming along to an athlete with a DeFi project is already a step too far. And
I see. So if you go to an athlete, what's the first thing they say? They probably say, "Who are you?" And
with most of them, they will say, "What is crypto?"
Oh, okay. So they don't even, they just, yeah. I guess an athlete is just thinking about what is the benefit to them. Okay. And but when do you think so you said you've got a few hundred athletes already signed up. When do you expect at the latest you'll go live? At the absolute latest? 23 or 24?
No, 23 will be possible. Yeah.
Okay.
20, yeah.
Okay. I think that's all from me. Do you have any further comments or links? Like, do you want to spell out the name of where people can find you for the audio only listeners?
We can put a link on our website, so we can share that. No worries.
Okay, and it's BoXX United as well.
Yeah, BoXX United.com. Correct.
Yeah, I used to have a company called BRIXX, BRIXX, and no one could ever find it. They spelled it CKS in English.
Yeah, in English. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thanks a lot for today, and we'll talk offline in a bit. So it was great to have you. Thanks.
Okay. Very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.